Popping ass and on ass and hauling ass, and you know what I'm saying, boys? What's up, my dudeskies? So we got some 2019 RF Gaming MX Nations on Assen. So yeah, RF, are you finally figuring out that you gotta have pre-made on a motocross track? What? Oh, that shit that me and Hunter Rood and Alexis Leclerc were saying all the way back at the beginning of the actual AMA season. Oh, yeah, now you're starting to figure it out. Okay, got it, dog, got it. I got it. One thing you got to remember about this whole situation, okay, is back at the beginning when they were doing the whole flat tracking vibe, pretty much no pre-made, back at the beginning of the actual AMA season, they thought we were crazy for saying that it needed more pre-made. Like all those dudes in RF thought we were just insane, thought we were just whining and complaining too much, and no, it doesn't need that much pre-made. No, no way, dog. Like, you got to remember, don't never forget. And now here we are. Everything we said to do back then, they're now doing it. Look how much better the tracks are. Look how much better. I'm not gonna, kill that horse again, so let's move on from that. But either way, so yeah, I rode a total of like, I don't know, maybe 6 laps on this track right here. So I haven't really got all the lines figured out or whatever, but I just wanted to get in and make the video on it. I know some of you guys probably ran quite a few laps on this track because it is a lot of fun. So I'm sure some of you guys got all the lines like dialed in and every little corner and which rut's the best to hit and hitting it with the road on and going even faster and shit like that. But like, I don't care. It's, I just wanted to hop on this track and have some fun. So yeah, the cool thing about it is not only having actual, pre-made again, what you're supposed to have on an MX simulator track, not only that, but it has that cool, like, different MXGP track feeling to it. You know what I'm saying? It captures that whole different vibe. It doesn't just feel like a RF AMA national track on a GP environment. You understand what I'm saying? It really captures that different feeling, right? And that's a really important thing to get with any MXGP track for that matter. But, the traction of it really, when you first get on it, if you're used to some of the RF national tracks, got a gnat in my face, all right, get the fuck out of here, dog. If you're used to some of the RF tracks, like AMA national tracks, this might feel a little bit weird to you at first because it's kind of got like a sandy, loamy mixture vibe traction to it. But once you ride on it a little bit, you start kind of feeling the vibe on the traction, you'll start to like it a lot more because you'll respect the different nature of the way that it feels, right? And that's exactly how it is in real life, right? The dirt's completely different overseas, right? That's why, all those dudes struggle that go over there, and then it's like a whole nother learning curve and process because the tracks are different and the tractions are different and the compounds of dirt are different and all that shit. So they capture that very well here. Love the skybox. Love any of those, like, really, like, sunset-y vibe, colorful. Is that trying to be sunset or, like, morning? I think that's sunset, right? Sometimes I get a little confused on that. But talking about a flow track, holy shit, dog. I mean, this is like one of those tracks you can go a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster, literally unlimited. Like, it doesn't have like a cap to the speed on it, really. You can go as fast as you want to go because the corners flow. It's not too narrow. Now this section right here is long John Silver's, boys. You're gonna have to change your gearing if you got more like a supercross gearing. Typically, you don't have to have you could have the most acceleration gearing you could possibly have in the game, and you wouldn't tap it out on most AMA RF motocross tracks. Like, you wouldn't have to, even if you had the most acceleration, you know what I'm saying? But with this right here, you are actually gonna have to do that on that, and like this section right here, it just gets so long, flat. Obviously that's a roller section, but still, dude, I think you can actually huck to that. I don't know, maybe not as far as I went, but it has that whole little overhang thing right there. So I don't know if that's like illegal. I don't know if you're going to get protested for that or whatever, but either way, yeah, you can hit some little cool like mid ruts and stuff like that. Actually got some roller vibe going on. You could kind of tell I started to get my speed going up here after I ran a couple laps on it, like right through here, right? You can kind of see that speed starting to pick up a little bit, where you can really start shaving off like 2-3 seconds a lap, like as far as lap time wise, you know, when you really start flowing, really start feeling it, you can really drop your lap times down really quick by doing that. But dude, like, you can fucking haul ass on this track right here. Haul Assen on some Assen. I mean, good God, bro. But either way, really cool track. I was really impressed with this one. Be a fun track to, you know, do 125 races on, any sort of jazz like that, you know. Definitely sick for anything like that. And not to mention all that, but it has the whole cool, off in the distance, kind of like the multicolored smoke vibe going on like you'd see in real life, right? And the environment's pretty cool. You kind of feel like you're playing on a MXGP3 track or something, right? But in MX Simulator, you know? So that's kind of cool how they did all that custom environment stuff for it. You definitely tell some work's been put into that. But, God, I just can't explain how nice it is to just be able to hop in here in single player, and you can still run a road on this track, and they still ran it in the race and all the, you know, you can still run a road on it, but you can still come in here in single player and actually hit a fucking rut and hit a little bit of roughness and have some skill gap from boom, lap 1, you know what I mean? That was my entire point about having the super flat track, trying to make a road make everything on the track. It can't do that. So I'm glad we've now learned our lesson on that one, RF. It took you way too long to figure that out, but I'm glad you're starting to get it, because shit, it's going to save the game now that you're starting to realize this, even though a lot of people's already left for how long it's taken you to realize this. But, you know, if they're going to run a road, if they can't run the pro racing without a road, then the best thing you could possibly do is have, you know, 90 to 95% pre-made and you know, 5 to 10% a road. That is the best case scenario you could possibly have on a motocross race. And it makes it to where you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? Because people can go in there in single player, still have fun on it with no road, or you can have it on an online server with no road and people can still have fun on it. But you can also have that little bit of dirt changing, that little bit of change throughout that individual moto if you want that side of it. You know, you can kind of get away with getting the best of both worlds there a little bit. But the thing about that is that doesn't work as easily in Supercross. I don't know what the hell they're going to do in Supercross. If they're going to run any road, I don't know. But it doesn't work that easily in Supercross, obviously, because if you try to go in there and make a shitload of pre-made on a Supercross track, it kind of fucks the track up, right? So I don't know. I feel like Supercross is one of the things you either need to have no road and like maybe one pre-made inside rut in one corner, or a little bit of pre-made roughness, depending on, like, if you're trying to make a rutty or a rough Supercross track. Supercross, you can't have it in the middle. It just doesn't work. Like, you're either going to have no road at all in a smooth Supercross track, or no road at all and a rutted up pre-made Supercross track, like a gnarly hardcore, you know, like really like Seattle rutted up Supercross track, or like a dry hard pack Vegas with like choppy roughness pre-made Supercross track or whatever. Or you're just gonna have nothing with a road. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's either pre-made or you're gonna have a road. You can't really do a like 80 or 90% pre-made and then with a road on it in Supercross. Shit just does not work. I'm telling you right now, unless they totally advance the road system in the game, it's not going to work at all. So I don't know what they're going to do. But I just hope they don't go down the same old roads that they've been doing and it take us another year before we get the Supercross dialed in again. Like, they just can't do that again, you know. But either way, pretty solid track right here, man. I was quite impressed with it. It's refreshing. Thank God we actually have pre-made roughness and ruts again, you know. Like what makes MX Simulator so great, right? It's like, damn, dude. It's just crazy when you rant and do all that. And so far back when they were first starting to do the road thing, I was so hesitant. So I just don't know about this, because just by the way it made it and all that, like, you got to understand. And then the way RF just couldn't take people's criticism of a road. They couldn't do it. I'm telling you right now, they couldn't do it. It seemed like anytime anybody would ever say anything negative about a road, it was like we were trying to stop the progression of the game, or we just like the we just like the old version. We can't see the future of MX Simulator, and all we ever do is whine and cry. And oh my gosh, like, we're just ungrateful little fucks on MX Simulator that, I mean, literally dudes in RF, main honchos in RF have said shit like that multiple times by people that have negatively, or disagreed with the road in any kind of way. It's been a very, you like that save, dog? Suck on that one. I just can't believe they've been that way so hardcore. Then we outvote a road completely on the forums, right? And, you would think they would just, at least not run it for the rest of the season, just see how it goes without it, right? No, they don't do that, no. Oh, man, what a mess RF and a road has been. It's just been a tornado. Ever since I made those unprofessionalism rants about a road when I got protested for nothing, and then they banned me for literally speaking my mind. Yeah, nobody can forget that, right? They've been on a downhill spiral ever since. I swear to God. Like, it's insane. I don't know. It's just insane, dude. I mean, you got RF literal members typing in chat like a fucking little 12-year-old spurg, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get that professionalism back, RF. You have to. You have to, man. That's the whole point to it. And when people go in there and disagree with you or really say something negative about a road or whatever, you just have to take that, okay? You don't need to fight against that. That's the worst thing you could possibly do when your competitors and your participants in your actual pro racing series really disagree with something. No matter how hard they disagree with it, you got to allow them to speak their mind. You can't be like, well, you were unprofessional, like the rule they used to have in RF, right? If you go in here and basically trash talk us on anything or say anything negative about anything that we don't like, we have the ability to just ban you from pro racing, like, dictatorship. But we solved all that, right? Finally got past all that because of yours truly. But finally they got past that, but still they don't take it with a stride whenever a large group of people really disagree with something on MX Sim or somebody really goes hard on what they're saying. They get very defensive about it. You got to understand, they get so defensive. You cannot do that, RF. Even if you disagree with what we're saying, the last thing you need to do is go in there and fire back at us in chat or go in there and fire back at us on the forums. Like, that's not professional, dog. I don't know what you're trying to, I know RF's trying to be professional. That's the furthest thing from that. I just have to tell you, talking about Race Carlin, talking about, Chris Riesenberg, a.k.a. Checkers, right? I haven't had a whole lot of problems from a whole lot of other people in RF, them two specifically. It's insanity. It's literally like you're talking to a 13-year-old kid. That I mean, it's insane. And you got to understand, listen, I know I fire hard at people. I know I go off on people. But I'm also not a part of a professional organization trying to uphold a standard either. You see what I'm saying? That's the entire difference. Like, right? Like, if I was somebody that was actually in RF and I was a head honcho main dude in RF or whatever, and somebody really went in there and trash talked something that we did on the track or really did something, the last thing I would do would be go in there and type back to them in chat like, oh, you're just whining and complaining or getting on the forums. I can't tell you the countless amount of times Checkers is went in on the forums or Race Carlin's went in on the forums said, you just don't appreciate what we're doing. Oh, you guys just ungrateful. Like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. You're hurting the entire game because you're making the professional racing look unprofessional as fuck. Stop doing that. Stop. Like, God, you've got to learn on that. Look at this little shit up here. You got a little upstairs party in the back, boys. We drinking some Coors Lights over here, making Supercross great again, huh? I'm just saying, RF's got some like professionalism reworking to do, and they need to quit acting like they're on such a pedestal. Like, I get that you're the leader of an organization, but you gotta understand that you can't act. You gotta uphold a certain standard. Okay, you can't just go out there and then speak your mind however you want to when you're when you're trying to uphold a standard of a professional organization, you can't do that. That's now, if you're a random guy like me that isn't trying to uphold any sort of standard, then you can say whatever the hell you want. But like I said, if I was some, professional organization manager or runner or some dude that was like, let's say I was the dude that really controlled the protest and who gets banned on the pro racing and all that, you would never see me going in there and typing some bullshit in chat or going at somebody that's actually competing or something. One of the competitors said negatively about something that happened. I would never go in there and directly respond to somebody like a lot of the dudes in RF do. I would never do that because you uphold that standard, right? Even if you totally disagree with what they're saying, you have to uphold a standard. That's the whole point. And a lot of you dudes in RF are not getting that. You don't understand what position you're in, apparently, obviously, or you wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't be doing that at all. And it's sad. It's pitiful that you do that. Like, goddamn. But either way, you can tell a lot of object modeling, and even got that looking like glass. That is nice. That's nice for sure. Definitely brings the whole track around, getting all the custom objects in, getting the smoke off in the distance. It's actually like smoke. It's really, really fucking cool, dude. And the track having pre-made on it, and really, I really enjoyed this one right here. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 overall. I'm going to say basically difficulty is probably in that medium range. I really like the distance of that finish line tabletop too, and the roller size and all that. It's solid, man. Got some skill gap to it. You can overjump the finish line, so it takes a little bit of timing, like from how much speed you get up to it. So and then it's got the whole skill of like the rut, roller, sand, roller, berm, rut berm through the corners. So you got all that sort of skill gap to it. In RF, another little touch here. I need to just go off on that on another video, but you're doing some sketchy shit. I'm just telling you right now, with your whole, you've got a team that's actually participating in the pro racing events, and 3 out of the 10 or however many people's on the team, half the people on the team are actual people that are in RF that's dictating everything, and then they have pro riders actually racing with everybody else. Yeah, that's how you definitely run something. It'd be like if John Gallagher or fucking whoever's running the actual Supercross was like the team manager of Honda at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh no, we're not going to have any, corrupt, any sketchy, behind the scenes. Like, we're not going to have any of that going on. No. And it's not that you would do it, it's that you could do it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't, if you're an RF official, if you're somebody working on the RF tracks or whatever, you should not have a team that's actually pro racing in that organization. In the events of that organization. You got to understand how wrong that is, dog. You can't be doing that. That's what I'm saying. These are all like standard ass fucking like logical. It's not difficult. I don't know why RF and a lot of people in RF think they can just get away with this completely, like, I don't know what. It's some other country shit. I'm telling you. You wouldn't do that. Like the whole gambling at your own casino, same difference. It's the same difference as having, running RF or being a part of RF and being on the same team as RF and racing, or anybody that's a part of RF actually participating in the races, which they do that as well. God, you cannot. I just don't understand it, man. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So either way, yeah, like I said, 9 overall, sick track, thank God. Finally making pre-made like we told them to do at the beginning of the motocross season. It is what it is, boys. We'll see what happens in 2020. I have no idea. I just think there's so many things that RF goes through that just make no sense in a professionalism sense. It literally makes no sense. Like, if you're going to dedicate yourself to be the RF track maker, race Carlin, then you got to understand you probably shouldn't actually participate in those races, okay? You got to either be the track maker or be a racer, okay? You got to be the dude that handles all of the protest and goes in there and picks who gets banned for what and who gets suspended for what on-track incident, or you're somebody that participates and actually races. You can't be both, okay? You're either going to be a top dude in RF that runs shit, or a top guy in RF that works on the tracks, or you're a pro racer. It's one of the two. Stop trying to be both, because that's unprofessional as fuck. You need to stop doing that. Stop doing that. Like, I don't even understand how they even think in what dimension they think that that's okay to do that, because it's not at all. It's not at all. Like, damn. But either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.